Hey, welcome back. Just down, kind of approaching downtown Tacoma here along the waterfront Foss Waterway. And I've been thinking also about where this stacks up against the WR250R that I've had some experience with. And I'll start by saying that I think the WR250R was one of those bikes that I thought I was going to have in my garage. You know, I had friends with them and they just sang the praises. I met a guy, you know, back in 08, 09, I don't know, it was right after it came out, and he was riding every day. He had 26,000 miles on one in just a couple years, and just everybody was singing the praises, and so I got pretty familiar with it, and one of my close friends had a couple of them, and so I got to ride them with different stock gearing and 1347 and 1348, and there wasn't a time that I didn't enjoy myself on that bike. I mean, I got on one and rode the highway, just, you know, straight onto it, and like, hey, let's switch, you can drive my van and I'll ride your bike, and I just did an hour on the highway, 65 zone. I think even with 1348 gearing, and I was astounded, you know, really. I thought that was the best dual sport bike you can buy, even though it's not the most powerful. You know, service intervals, the reliability, the packaging, the way it looks, you know, everything, the aftermarket support, being able to find a 3.1 gallon tank, and racks and tusk racks, whatever you want. It's really cool. There were just a few kind of nitpicky things that are just part of the bike that you have to deal with, and that's that the like factory calibration between the trip computer and the mileage, something you can either have the speedometer right, or you can have the mileage that you're calculating correct. You can't have them both. There's like, it's just wrong in the factory. Whatever multiplier they used or whatever is wrong. So you can't have you know, a speedo that says you're going 60 and that also reads out 60 miles in 1 hour or whatever. Which is an annoyance. So, and you know, basically that's a bike that when you buy it, you have to re-gear it. It's okay with stock gearing, but it's just so much better with aftermarket gearing, because it's the sixth gear is so tall that it's kind of unusable unless you're going really fast. And the engine is one that it doesn't have a lot of torque, so you have to keep it high in the rev range, so you never get into sixth gear unless you're going 75, and then as soon as you hit a hill or something, you got to shift back down. So it really benefits from being geared from, I think it's 1343 stock to either 1347 or 1348. It really benefits from it, and it doesn't hurt it at all. It makes it so you can clutch it up in second gear, and you know, it's a terrific modification. But then you got to do other things like, you know, chain and sprockets right after you just spent $7,000 on a bike, and then you know, the speedo healer to make your speedo right, or your mileage right, whichever one you prefer. But yeah, I mean, it's totally shocking right now that it's not an option. It's not even on the Yamaha website. So hopefully they come out with something cool that'll fight this. You know, there's always that what if they come out with a, you know, CRF300 or something, or, you know, the WR250R for the American market that's plated and has the right gear ratios for going fast and for going slow. Yeah, I think they all go, well, what makes this bike special? It's just that it's like packaged right, and the gear ratios are right, and the power is right, and there's nothing that stands out as being like a problem with it at all. You know, and I'll say that if you respect it for what it is, you know, the TW200 was basically the same. First gear was really low, you could climb a tree with it, and then the gears were nicely spaced all the way through. I mean, you would end up in fifth gear in the top gear at 35-40 miles an hour, but you know, and the limitation was top speed, and you know, a lot of people try to make their bike do something that it was never designed to do. And you know, the T-Dub's speedo turns red after 55 miles an hour. It's like, just don't go that fast. It's a great city commuter bike, and it's a great trail bike. Is it as good as something with the 1821 wheel set? I don't think so. You know, that big front tire, it's so much drag and soft stuff that it like plows a lot, and it gets like sucked in, and you know, the tires, stock tires on the T-Dub are no good. But we'll continue that in another session here about the T-Dub. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Signing out. Have a good night.